As the New York Jets prepare for their primetime game against the Chiefs on Sunday, the Zach Wilson discourse continues to be pretty exhausting. Everyone just keeps piling on, but I thought Chris Sims and Mike Florio made a good point when discussing the situation yesterday. They said it feels like Jets fans are channeling all their frustration about the Aaron Rodgers injury and then just heaping it onto Zach Wilson. It's tough since Zach was the second overall pick and was supposed to save the franchise, and so Jets fans can't disassociate that fact with the current reality where he's just the backup quarterback.
I think it's as simple as this, Chris. Jets fans are pissed that they lost Aaron Rodgers, and what are they going to do? Vent at God? Or whoever is responsible for the Achilles tendon being torn.
Right.
Their anger about the situation is being directed at Zach Wilson, and then by association, the rest of the team for sticking with Zach Wilson. And all of a sudden, Zach Wilson's the problem. And why was he even here as the backup quarterback? That's what I'm hearing now from some Jets
Yeah,
fans.
sure.
Well, why did they even keep him? Well, nobody said boo about Zach Wilson being the backup to Aaron Rodgers.
And he looked great all preseason. Every Jet fan was excited with how he looked at. Right, and he looked great in the preseason.
35-yard run. And
so they're talking out of both sides of their mouth there. And then they're mad at the draft, right? Like I told you on Monday, I get people all the time. You know, he was the consensus number 2 quarterback in the draft, period. Okay, I made him number 1. I was wrong. I get that, right? What do they want, though? They want Justin Fields or Trey Lance? Because I was right about them, and they ain't good, right? So that's who they got. You know, they weren't in the Mac Jones conversation. They weren't going to do that.
They also talked about the comments Joe Nemeth made and said that, first of all, he's not helping the situation. But they also called him out for not understanding modern football. Nemeth basically said that Zach quit on the team for sitting down when the pocket collapsed and not trying to make a play. But the thing is, he was probably coached to do that. Plenty of great quarterbacks have done the same thing, and it's because it's smarter to just live for another play than to do too much and either turn the ball over or get injured. So I thought the whole conversation was a very refreshing take on the situation, rather than just saying that Zach Wilson sucks and you never want to see him again, like some other media members. And I was trying to think about another athlete that has faced this much criticism, and I was having a really hard time thinking of anyone. It really just feels like there's been 50 years of pain for this franchise, and with each failure, it just gets worse and worse. And now Zach is taking the brunt of it. It's really sad to see. Today, Robert Saleh spoke to the media and he acknowledged that Zach needs to play better, but said that everyone knows that, including Zach. Rich Samini had reported yesterday that the Jets defense was frustrated with Saleh for sticking with Wilson, and that he has come across to the locker room as a Zach Wilson apologist. But I'm not really sure what Saleh is supposed to do. Zach Wilson is the best quarterback on the roster. They cut Tim Boyle for a reason, and they only brought him back when Rodgers got injured. So he's right that Zach gives the team the best chance of winning right now, and we'll see how things go with Trevor Siemian learning the offense and starting to work with the team. But Zach is the guy right now, and so Saleh is doing the right thing by sticking with him and keeping his back while he's still the starting quarterback. Now obviously, if the pattern continues and Zach is costing the team games week after week, Saleh is not just going to sit around and throw the season away. If he did that, he would get fired. He's going to make a change, just like he did last year, if it is absolutely necessary. That's why they brought in Trevor Siemian, and if that doesn't work out, it wouldn't even surprise me if in a few weeks down the line, they brought in another quarterback to try and fix things. Speaking of Trevor Siemian, he told the media today at his first practice that he was not made any promises about potentially getting on the roster or playing. He just said the team needed a third quarterback, and so that's why they had decided to sign him. And I also really liked Siemian's comments when asked about the pressure on Wilson. He said that Zach gets it, and he realizes that there's no pressure like the pressure you put on yourself. So he also added that it seems like Zach is wired the right way, So I thought those were some great comments from Simeon. Then, to close things out, Chiefs linebacker Willie Gay was asked today what he thought about the Jets offense, specifically Zach Wilson and the passing game. And he basically said that it looked like a team that wanted to run the ball. And a lot of people are taking this as like a huge diss on Zach Wilson. And I think it is a little bit, but I think he's also just telling the truth. The Jets do want to run the ball. And that's why teams are just stacking the box against them and forcing them to throw because they know they want to run. So I hope more than anything that the team will trust Zach to throw the ball on Sunday and that he has a breakout game. I really do. But right now it just seems like he's being coached to not make mistakes, and that's crippling the offense. If you trust him to start at quarterback, then trust him to do what he's good at. Also, Wilson's mantra growing up was prove them wrong. It would be a great week to do that for Zach Wilson.